today.
Introducing the all-new delivery pouch from Pizza Hut. Thanks to 3 layers of thermal insulation, your pizza arrives oven hot. It's like having our oven right in your kitchen. Well, pretty close. Try it with the best pizza delivery deal. Large 2 topping, just $7.99. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Morgan & Morgan is at Pound Law on your cell phone. That's pound 529.
Welcome to the best show on earth.
We see a clown, I'm out of here.
DC's Legends of Tomorrow, all new Tuesday, 9/8 Central.
Rebecca knows who her baby's father is. CJ believes her male roommate is the real dad.
While she was asked how she did admit to cheating on me with him.
Unbelievable DNA results on the next Mark.
Tomorrow at 4 on CW17.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to another edition of 1010XL Tonight, brought to you by Zaxby's. A special show tonight, talking about not-so-special teams tonight.
Well, there's good news coming.
Yeah, and I love good news.
Mike and Molly have been signed to play special teams here in Jacksonville.
You know what? That's an upgrade.
It might
That's
be.
what that will be.
Not good news for Jared Wilson, maybe for Mike and Molly.
A lot to talk about today, a lot to talk about, and we always
so
start it with something we call the big thing. I got to tell you, as all the big things you talk about, the game yesterday started like this, Jeff.
Tackle
This is Pharaoh
Tackle
Cooper.
him. Grab
him. Oh, my
him.
goodness. Look at, are you kidding? Are you still kidding?
Dive.
Are you
Uh-oh,
not
that
kidding?
didn't work.
No, the dive.
You dive. That didn't work either.
It's unbelievable. That's the way it started. Honestly, the Jags lost yesterday with one of the worst special teams breakdowns you'll ever see. Right here, this was fun. As Leonard Fournette got loose, his one big run, had 2 decent runs of the day. But it was astounding how bad special teams were, Jeff. 6 times the special teams messed up. A punt block for a touchdown, the kickoff you just saw for a touchdown. So many bad things happen. And here's the shame of it all. Offensively at the beginning of the game, like this touchdown to Chris Ivory, they looked good in the early going.
You know, all the experts thought we might have a 17-14 final, 17-14 after 1, and then the defense started playing like they're supposed to, and the special teams never did. Listen, we didn't even get to a point yet where Jason Myers is going to cost you a game. That's coming. Right. If some change doesn't happen at the kicking position, I think all of us in Jacksonville see that. And yeah, I mean, when you do the things that you're good at, play defense and run the football, and still don't win, then you got to point to something, and in this case, it was awful special teams play. Yeah,
it really was. And again, they tried to come back, and of course, the big turnover late, you see it right there. Yes, they had some problems throughout, but I will go back to, and in the Rams, after this turnover, you knew it was going to be a long way back for Jacksonville. That point, you could see it on Blake's face. But here's what I will tell you. 6 times in that game, special teams messed up. The kick return for a touchdown, over 100 yards. The punt block for a touchdown. The shanked 16-yard punt that led to an 8-yard drive and a field goal. That's 17 direct points that the Rams got without making a first down. And a 28-yard shanked punt. And 2 missed field goals. I admit they were long ones, but in the NFL, you make those long field goals. 6 times they messed up, Jeff, on special teams. Usually any game you do that once or twice, you wind up losing the game. I'm astounded.
Well, and here's the thing, too. They have a really good special teams coach, so they should be prepared. I'll tell you what else is very concerning. It played out yesterday, just as it did, especially in the Tennessee Titans game, is with all the improvement that this Jaguar football team has made, they can't be behind in the fourth quarter. The strength of this football team is stopping the pass. They've been very mediocre. Mediocre is a compliment in stopping the run. They're 3rd from the bottom in stopping the run. And they cannot pass themselves. So you do the math. If you get in trouble and behind in the fourth quarter and you're not a passing team and you really haven't stopped the run effectively, then that's just a recipe for disaster. So, I mean, you can go ahead and almost book it, Frank. If this team falls behind by double digits in the fourth quarter, you're cooked. And they were yesterday.
And they remember win one, lose one, win one, lose one, win one, lose one. That seems to be their identity. We'll see if that holds. More Jaguar talk coming up a little bit later on in the program. Ryan O'Halloran joins us from the Florida Times Union. That comes up in just a bit.
Well, listen, if you were upset with yesterday's result, I mean, at least you had Saturday. That went great in Gainesville.
Ooh, boy. What was, first of all, there's the unis.
Those are awful.
They're
costumes. They're not uniforms. They trick-or-treated before the game.
At one point, they ran the ball well. Looked like they were going to be okay. This gave them a 10-3 lead early on. But boy, Jeff, this is a team that cannot throw the football even a little bit. Astounding how bad it's been. And then, of course, A&M comes back and quarterback draw, and they're right back in it.
Well, look, college football is a little different game if you sit in our chair, right? I mean, you can call a 30-year-old professional making a lot of money. You can question his football IQ, his intelligence, his want to. I mean, these college kids, you have to expect some sort of growth, and we expect it quicker and quicker nowadays than ever before. But at the end of the day, Felipe Frank's football IQ seems like it's stuck somewhere between 0 and 1. I mean, the kid, God bless him, goes back to pass, and within a half a second, pressure or not, he's sprinting out of the pocket. He's cutting off half the field with a mediocre receiver set to begin with. I think they could be getting a lot better play out of the quarterback position. And I know that Jim McElwain has invested a lot of time and a lot of energy in Felipe Franks already. But at this point, Frank, I almost feel like the Gators are in at least make a moment mode. It's not going to be a great season. You're going to have opportunities against Georgia, against FSU to make a moment. I don't know if you can make that moment with Felipe Franks. I'm telling you, again, I'm the crazy one. I'd put Kadarius Toney in the Wildcat and let him run that against Georgia for a week. I would try something to jumpstart my offense because 3 years now, it's just not getting any better.
Well, you're dead on. What you said is exactly right. Jeff, I agree with you. I don't like agreeing with you, but I agree with you 100% on this one. They've brought in 8 quarterbacks. 8 quarterbacks they've brought to the program. They've played 6 of them in 3 years. Any other college coach now would try the next guy. Whether you take the red shirt off Jake Allen. Red shirts don't matter anymore these days. Whether you play Malik Zaire, whether you play Toney, as Jeff just said, I don't blame Felipe Franks. He's trying as hard as he can. I'd play the next guy. Most coaches now would put the other guy in just to see. Maybe go back to Franks. You got to play the next guy. That's a real problem. This offense, they've thrown 4 touchdown passes. All year long, they've thrown 4 touchdown passes. In this day and age, that is incomprehensible.
And I will say this in defense of Jim McElwain. Listen, if anybody's criticizing Jim McElwain more harshly today than they did after the Michigan game, I don't think you're getting it right. This team isn't at this stage going to get a whole lot better. And the bottom line is sometimes personnel can be an excuse and sometimes it can be a reason. You got 22 of your 85 scholarship guys ineligible or not playing. That's a quarter of your roster. It's, you're trying to make chicken salad, as they say, and, and those lucky horseshoe wins that he's been so good at, that's 2 in a row now they've lost.
Meanwhile, quarterback play isn't so bad in Tallahassee. The Noles go to Durham. And this guy, I think, is going to be a pretty good player. Jimbo Fisher gets his quarterbacks ready. He's got 3 guys that went in the top first round in the NFL draft. I think James Blackman is playing great. Look, I know FSU's 2 wins are over Wake and Duke, who aren't exactly powers, and they had to hold on at the end. I get it. But I think Blackman is coming around. I think the Noles are getting a little bit better, Jeff.
Well, I'll tell you one stat that will surprise you, is that as bad as Florida is right now in offense, total offense in the country, FSU's ranked lower. Florida's like 104, and FSU's like 110. Felipe Franks and James Blackman have the exact same stat line at this point.
But feel like
it does, and I think that may be where Wake Forest and Duke make you feel better than LSU and Texas A&M.
Yeah, and I
so
get that.
I'm still concerned for FSU as they get into the meat of the schedule. The ACC to me is not panning out as difficult as it looked like when the season started. But if you're asking me, do I trust Jimbo Fisher in developing a quarterback and an offense more than McElwain? Yeah, I do. So I see your point there. And they've won a couple of games, which they needed to do.
Yeah, no question. I think FSU's playing better. Look, it's a tough year for both of them. They got 6 losses between them, for crying out loud. Tough year for both teams, no question about it. Now, as always, we want to know what you think. That's why we always have a little something we call Twitter time.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Well, happy Monday to you. And we all know it should have expected a wacky weekend as it all started with a Friday the 13th. But just to remind you, if you want your questions answered with the experts in Frank and Jeff, all you have to do is tweet us by using the hashtag AskFrankAndJeff. So let's get it started. First thing off with the Jags from @MaryC². What are your thoughts about today's officials? It seems that their serious errors affected the game.
Yeah, I thought the officials, NFL officiating's hard. I thought the awful one, Donna, was the fumble that wasn't called. They are trained, these officials are trained to let it play out and let replay decide that he was down by contact. The one thing you never do, Jeff, never, is call it down by contact unless you absolutely know it. They missed a pass interference against Lee, too. That was an awful call, though, on the Colvin recovery.
Well, they missed pass interference on both teams a couple of times. They missed a a face mask on Marquise Lee, I believe it was. They missed a blow to the head on Blake Bortles. And ironically, this is the crew that blows the whistle more than any other in the league. Walt Coleman's crew is terrible. That's what I drew out of yesterday's game.
Donna Murphy, give us one more if you would there.
Yeah, something you guys were just talking about with Florida. In this day and age, true freshman QBs are playing more than ever. Mind-boggling, Florida can't find one.
Well, listen, we're seeing that, right? We're seeing that with Florida's two biggest rivals, with FSU and Georgia, both getting solid play at least out of their freshman quarterbacks. And Jim McElwain is now becoming at fault in this because these are his guys. He's had Felipe Franks for 2 years down there. He redshirted last year. He should be better. And as the coach, if he's not better, you should know and recognize. And I don't care if it's Kyle Trask. I don't care if you go back to Malik Zaire. If you take the redshirt off of Allen, you play Tony and Wildcat. They're going to win 5 games if Felipe Franks quarterbacks the rest of the year.
I agree with you, what you said. I said it earlier. I'll say it again. You got to try somebody else. Even if you go back to Franks, you got to try. You've recruited a bunch of guys. Allen, if Trask can't play, why not play Allen? Are you worried about if he's going to be there in 4 years? Worry about that later. Play somebody else.
All right, we're going to go back to the Jags, who go back to the elevator, and this time it goes down a level, and they're 3-3. No one knows them or covers them more day to day than Ryan O'Halloran of the Times-Union. He joins us next with more Cat Talk on 1010XL tonight.
I'm David Robbins with the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. When you or someone you know is arrested, you will go in front of a judge within a matter of hours, and the decisions you make at that time can have a serious and permanent impact on your life. Time is of the essence. That's why we're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to help. If you or a loved one is arrested, call Epstein & Robbins immediately. We can be by your side for those crucial moments. Visit FLDUIDefense.com. We're Epstein & Robbins, and we're here to help.
In order for there to be justice, we all need to have the opportunity to have equal access to the courts. For all of us to be able to have a voice against the powerful. At Harrell & Harrell, one of our goals is to be able to preserve what is good and right about our civil justice system. That's what we do.
Call 251-1111 to see if you have a case. Harrell & Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
You've probably heard, if you drive a Subaru, you'll buy a Subaru. Well, at Jack Hanania's Subaru of Orange Park, it's much more personal than that. We ask questions and answer yours. Then, out of the hundreds in stock, we find the model and price that work for you. Finally, after we've given you all the service you deserve, plus 2 years complimentary maintenance, that's when you buy a Subaru. Buying a Subaru should be more than just driving one. It is at Subaru of Orange Park. We've got the new Subaru for you.
Introducing the all-new delivery pouch from Pizza Hut. Thanks to 3 layers of thermal insulation, your pizza arrives oven hot. It's like having our oven right in your kitchen. Well, pretty close. Try it with the best pizza delivery deal. Large 2 topping, just $7.99. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
When it comes to tough, versatile workhorses, nothing compares to Kubota's full line of RTV Series utility vehicles. Engineered to last and designed to deliver, Kubota's RTV X Series doesn't just lead the way on rugged dependability, it leads the pack. From big jobs to small projects and daily chores. Choose from America's top-selling family of diesel utility vehicles to help you do it all.
Visit McClenny Equipment and Tractor or click metractor.com.
There's lots of excitement about Cracker Barrel's new $4.99 breakfast dishes, new $5.99 lunches, and $7.99 dinners. Comfort food at comfortable prices. That part's apparently very exciting. Cracker Barrel. Enjoy every little thing.
Welcome back, everyone, to 1010XL tonight. Frank Frangie, Jeff Prosser, brought to you by Zaxby's. The Jags have another one-game streak. They've had a lot of one-game streaks, 6 of them this year. They are now 3-3 after a loss to the Rams. Our buddy Ryan O'Halloran does a terrific job covering them from the Florida Times-Union. Hails from North Dakota. I always like to tell everybody that, just because I don't know if everybody knows that. See, I did that for you.
Hey, I appreciate that. And I had a couple sport coats, but they look like wet, blankets.
Yeah.
So I decided to go with the sweater.
You look sporty. You look sporty.
Let me steal that for next week.
That's Ryan. Up and down, win, lose. I was astounded because I think Joe DeCamillis is a very good football coach. Jeff was talking about that last segment. But boy, the special teams of the one thing that can't happen for a team that's challenged a little bit in the passing game is to be that bad in special teams.
Total system breakdown on special teams. You know, that opening kickoff, you know, they missed 3 tackles, 1 really close, and then 2 diving stops. And really, it's almost like the Jaguars try and overcomplicate things on special teams right now. It's directional punting, directional kicking. Just have them kick it as far as they can. So that's one issue. The block punt, Corey Grant, they think is a reliable special teamer, got beat. That's a block punt.
How hard is it going to be for them to get out of, apparently Jason Myers has a 5-year, $200 million guarantee contract. So I'm just the kicker.
Do they need to change the kicker? That's yeah, what is the story?
Is that inaccurate? Have I been given bad info?
Yeah.
It's 2 in 100.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Do they have to bring in another kicker now?
I think so. I mean, they've been extremely loyal to Jason Myers because of his kickoff ability. He has to make field goals, and they'll say, well, he missed 50-yarders and stuff like that, but he doesn't inspire confidence when he's out there, and it's a surprise when he makes any field goal. That's not how it should work. So, I mean, my thing with kickers is, let's say you make a move today or tomorrow, and 2 weeks from now you say, well, let's give Myers another shot. It's probably not going to be on another roster. You just revisit it. So I think they need to bring in a veteran guy who they know can put it through the uprights on a consistent basis.
Am I allowed to be, not depressed about the way things are going?
No,
I mean, this is a football team that's
depressed.
3-3, and I know we haven't gotten there like we would hope for a 3-3 start, but all things considered, they've completely changed over their defensive mentality, and they were statistically better last year than they were the year before, but this year they really look like something dominant, some struggles against the run notwithstanding. But if you sit here 3-3 with a game next week at Indy and then a bye week and the schedule softens a little bit, if you can win at home, to me that's the biggest issue.
Yeah, the biggest issue is they have to start showing up at home, and it feels like a snowball effect. But you're right, Jeff, from a writer standpoint, from a talk radio standpoint, you're 3-3, top of the table. Okay, they're a flawed team, yes. Do they tease? Yes. But also everything is still in front of them. If they can take care of business in their division, they're going to play meaningful games in December. But it's a couple of these flaws are really starting to show up is they don't challenge teams down the field. Their running back is getting hit behind the line of scrimmage, and their special teams right now are not very good. So even though their record is 500, the minuses are more evident than the pluses.
Ryan, what about the passing game? That's the thing, right? I mean, everyone's talking about the vertical passing game. Is there anything they can do? They seem committed to Bortles, and I get that. They lost A-Rod. That hurt. I get that. What do you do? I mean, because it is going to be hard to run the football. The Rams, after 1 or 2 runs yesterday, said, screw this. We're packing the box. He's not going to beat us. What do?
Well, you watch that game yesterday. Even when the Jags went 3 tight ends, the Rams still played a free safety in the middle of the field. So, you're going to hear a lot of talk from inside that building. Well, there's a 9-man box. Well, it really wasn't. I mean, you just have to beat your man in the run game. But to your point, Frank, on the receivers, that's what the big discussion should be at the front office this week. They have to look at the record, look where they are in the standings, and say, do we make a move? If it would cost a 4th or 5th round pick, do they go get a receiver who maybe has fallen out of favor somewhere else or is stuck down the depth chart? Do they give Jalen Strong a shot? I mean, at this point, you have nothing to lose. You're not doing anything in the passing game. So the key thing is for Dave Caldwell, Tom Coughlin is, do they want to sacrifice a pick for the future for a lightning in a bottle right now? I say you do it because you have to tell your locker room that you're in it to win it.
All right, we're almost to the halfway point. We're running out of time here, but 500 at 3-3. If you had to guess right now and forecast out, which if there's a harder team in the league to do that, tell me, is this a sub 500 team? Is it a 500 team? Is it a playoff contender?
Well, they can be sub 500 and be a playoff contender. So I think that's what's going to be the thing. If they end up 7-9, I don't think anybody will be surprised. It's just a matter of how they're going to get to 7 wins. Right now, 6 games to me is enough of the sample size to define what you are. And right now, they're an up and down team. They're not good enough to win games when they spot teams 14 points on special teams. But I think they're going to be a 7-9. I'd be surprised if they have a winning record, but I'll also be surprised if they really fall off the cliff.
Ryan O'Halloran from the Florida Times. Great work. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks,
We
fellas.
appreciate that. We'll keep an eye on the Jaguars as we always do all year long. We'll take a break. How about high school football? A terrific rivalry renewed on the banks of the St. Johns River. We'll talk about that and more when we return on 1010 XL tonight.
I'm David Robbins with the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. When you or someone you know is arrested, you will go in front of a judge within a matter of hours, and the decisions you make at that time can have a serious and permanent impact on your life. Time is of the essence. That's why we're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to help. If you or a loved one is arrested, call Epstein & Robbins immediately. We can be by your side for those crucial moments. Visit FLDUIDefense.com. We're Epstein and Robbins, and we're here to help.
Subaru of Jacksonville is bringing big savings to you this fall. Subaru of Jacksonville has 0% financing on new 2017 and 2018 Subarus. Or you can drive out in the all-new Impreza for only $119 a month. Plus, you'll receive complimentary maintenance on all new Subarus. Hurry in for 0% financing, big savings, and the best selection of new Subarus. And personally experience why Subaru of Jacksonville is the Subaru Love Promise Retailer of the Year and Dealer Rater's Dealer of the Year 3 years in a row.
Drive a Subaru. You'll buy a Subaru.
At Jack Hanania's Subaru of Orange Park, we're dedicated to delivering an exceptional customer experience. From our professionally trained sales staff and factory-certified technicians who provide 2 years complimentary maintenance, to every member of the dealership team, our goal is your complete satisfaction. Come see why we were just honored with Subaru's Stellar Care Award. Jack Hanania's Subaru of Orange Park.
Introducing the all-new delivery pouch from Pizza Hut. Thanks to 3 layers of thermal insulation, your pizza arrives oven hot. It's like having our oven right in your kitchen. Well, pretty close. Try it with the best pizza delivery deal. Large 2 topping, just $7.99. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Sawyer Gas.
I'm Barry Rainey, General Manager for Sawyer Gas. On behalf of all our employees, I want to thank our valued customers for their business. Here at Sawyer Gas, serving our customers in a safe and responsible manner is our top priority. We are proud to be a part of the local community and participate in the many activities that support local charities and organizations that improve the neighborhoods where we work, live, and play.
Sawyer Gas, driving every day with Sawyer Gas.
Rebecca knows who her baby's father is. CJ believes her male roommate is the real dad.
While she was asked how she did admit that cheating on me with him.
Unbelievable DNA results on the next Mark.
Tomorrow at 4 on CW17.
Welcome back to the program. The best thing about these new division or district realignments is old rivalries are renewed. Love the fact that Kenny and Bowles played again on the river. And Jeff, what a game it was. Came down to the final minute.
Man, yeah, they played all right. Man, did they play. And they played really to a point that it looked like Bishop Kenny was going to pull these things out in the latter moments. But Bowles got a late touchdown, and Bowles beats Bishop Kenny. It's a series they've absolutely dominated. It's a game that should be played every year. I've been in Jacksonville now for 27 years. My biggest sports complaint are these great high school programs that don't play each other every year, whether it was, you know, Raines and Bowles or Bowles and Trinity, or pick your teams whenever they're going well. Year to year, the best teams in the city should play each other, and it was fun to see those two teams on the field this weekend.
Bowles wins it in the last minute of the game. Josiah Johnson threw the big touchdown pass. Congratulations to Bowles, but mostly congratulations to both those teams for playing that game.
Yeah. Now, Georgia, meanwhile, played Missouri this weekend. If there was ever a trap game, this may be it. I don't think anybody takes Missouri too seriously. Georgia's been rolling along. They got the big one with the Gators in 2 weeks. And the defense, at least, Frank, looked like they were on a little bit of sabbatical as Missouri stayed in this game for close to a half.
That was 2 things. Drew Lock from Missouri is pretty good. They have a decent offense. This was classic look-ahead game. And I tell you what, good for Georgia. They needed to play classic look-ahead game. And they needed to look ahead, and they needed to struggle a little bit in the first quarter, and then roll them in the second half. So good for Georgia. Georgia's really good.
Yeah,
they're legit.
I'll tell you what I really learned from this game. Florida could lose to Missouri, too.
Yes, they could.
That's what I took away.
I do agree with you. All right, Mark Richt's old team playing very, very well. Well, guess what? Mark Richt's new team is playing pretty well as well. This was a gutsy win. It was the game after the game, Jeff. You got to win. You play that funky offense from Georgia Tech. Miami found a way to win. They're not nearly as good as his old team. Georgia's got a better team. That's a nice win for the game.
I mean, look at this play, dude. I mean, really? Look at this play. Yeah, that's a good win. That's 4th and 10 in the rain. How does he come down with that? Man alive. That's how Miami's season stayed alive right there. Maybe it is. It's a team with a cupcake schedule. So, I mean, if there's a team, there's a couple of teams out there, Frank, to me in college football, laying in the weeds. One is Miami, and the other is Wisconsin.
Right.
2 teams in good leagues that if they run the table are going to get the respect they need to make the Final Four, and each have real easy schedules compared to the rest of their league.
And Wisconsin benefits because they play in the other division. They don't play in that division
Right.
with Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State, so they
play Michigan. Well. That's it
yeah,
for them.
You're exactly right. All right, almost out of time. Let's take a break, but we still want to know more of what you have to say. That means more Donna Murphy. Twitter time is next to wrap the show. Stay with us.
I don't know what you've been told. I don't know what you've been told. Where the best gear is sold. Where the best gear is sold. Tactical gear working more. Your Army, Navy outdoor store. Army, Army, Navy, Navy, Army, Navy. Outdoors.
Get all you need at Army Navy Outdoors. We're your tactical work and outdoor store. We carry a complete line of clothing and gear so you can have fun or work in comfort.
Army Navy Outdoors.
In order for there to be justice, we all need to have the opportunity to have equal access to the courts. For all of us to be able to have a voice against the powerful. At Harrell and Harrell, one of our goals is to be able to preserve what is good and right about our civil justice system. That's what we do.
Call 251-1111 to see if you have a case. Harrell and Harrell, don't settle for less than you deserve.
Before you sell your home, know the math. A $200,000 home, traditionally at a 6% commission, costs you $12,000. With First Coast Realty of Jacksonville, that same house with full service is listed for a flat fee of $575 plus 1% commission, which leaves a whole lot of savings for you. Full listing service for less. First Coast Realty of Jacksonville.
Introducing the all-new delivery pouch from Pizza Hut. Thanks to 3 layers of thermal insulation, your pizza arrives oven hot. It's like having our oven right in your kitchen. Well, pretty close. Try it with the best pizza delivery deal. Large 2 topping, just $7.99. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
In celebration of her 45th birthday, get 45% off Maaco's most popular paint service and Meineke's oil change packages. A deal so good, you'll want to celebrate twice.
She's targeting people's fear.
What brought the girl of steel to her knees?
Supergirl, all new episode tonight, 8/7 Central.
Welcome back to 1010XL Tonight. I'm Donna Murphy. Along with me are the experts. That would be Frank Frangie and Jeff Prosser. It is time again for Twitter time. All you have to do to get your questions answered is use the hashtag AskFrankandJeff. So let's move on to some college football, guys, and talk about the SEC from @ChadScott. SEC is mediocre, but it has 2 teams that could make the playoff field.
That's our own Chad Scott, Jeff. Yes, I think Georgia can make the field. Here's why. If they stay undefeated, Clemson losing really helped Georgia. TCU's got to lose, but the Pac-12 isn't going to have an undefeated team, I don't think. I'm not sure the Big Ten is because they're going to knock each other off. Yes, I think for the first time we could have 2 teams from one league in the playoff.
I would quibble with just one part of the question, and I think we're kind of falling into a trap, but if the SEC is mediocre, then college football is mediocre. They got 2 of the top 3 teams. They've got an LSU team that rebounded. They got an Auburn team in the top 25, and a mess of other teams that are pretty good. So I'm not saying they're what they were 10 years ago, but they're about as mediocre as the ACC, the Pac-12, the Big 12, and others.
D-Murph, keep them coming.
All right, well then answer me this one. Who is next for FSU at defensive coordinator and wide receiver coach? Clearly both need a change.
Well, let me take a quick look at the defense since they collapsed against Miami, and I see a team that just went on the road and held them to 10. Yeah. Jimbo Fisher believes in his defensive coordinator. Noel Nation does it right now. FSU, and this is hard to fathom, but FSU is struggling and they're being held back right now because the offense isn't productive, maybe more so than the defense.
Yeah, no question about it. Certainly, Charles Kelly's probably going to have to go only because I think there's enough noise in the system that he's going to get criticized if he doesn't. That's what I think is going to wind up happening. Folks, that is our program. Next week, we'll be previewing a little something we call Florida, Georgia.
That's pretty fun. And looking back on another wild Jaguar Sunday, that much we can guarantee. Have a great night.
See you next week.
Your industry markets cigarettes even though there's lots of scientific evidence they're harmful.
I disagree. I say the evidence is not conclusive.
The Surgeon General says smoking may cause everything from lung cancer to heart disease.
Well, in life you have to take